So, how do you sell a home in California when the buyers are backing out? How do you sell it properly? Well, normally selling a home, there's a lot of little things that come together to help you sell for top dollar for really fast to strong buyers. But for me, in a balanced market or a market that could be going down, the most important thing is to tie it all together into a single process that works great for home sellers. And luckily, we got to do this process all the time in the down markets in the past. And I'm going to tell you where it starts. It starts with tremendously prepared and done homeowners disclosures that become part of this home selling process that establish credibility of the buyer. They get the buyers willing to pay the most they're willing to pay for the home in their initial offer, and that will also protect you from lawsuits after the closing in case the market does go down. And I'm going to tell you right now, smart realtors know this because I got tons of clients and realtors calling me up asking them to do their disclosures with their home sellers in the balanced and down markets and not so much in the up markets because up markets fix all these mistakes. The market went up, oh, you want to cancel the deal? All right, we'll take the home back and we'll sell it again for 50, 100 grand more, right? So up markets fix mistakes. Realtors don't have to be as good. They're not, frankly. They're good at the hype, but are they actually better at selling homes and getting you top dollar? Well, no. The market was going up for 10 years. Really good realtors have been getting that, another story. But the point is, down markets, the smart realtors actually bring lawyers onto the team. And it's because they know. For instance, when I got out of law school in the early 90s, myself, my first three trials were defending brokers who were getting sued by buyers. My friends, many of them, were litigating real estate deals and contracts for years. The first probably 5 years of the 90s, the middle 5 years of the 90s, were probably all about real estate litigation for a lot of firms, a lot of people built up around that. Many of the laws, disclosure laws and other laws, certainly the ones related to condos, came about from all that litigation in the 90s. So in down markets, buyers look to get out of deals and start suing people. They sue mortgage companies. I mean, all that litigation that happened, 10 years ago. Lawsuits go flying. So you want to be protected from that by filling out your disclosures properly. Everybody in their right mind says you should err on the side of over-disclosing. So then people want to over-disclose and put it in the wrong context, and that's what you want to avoid. You want to disclose, but you want to turn it into a benefit. So if you're working with us, I will even tell you, after we consider what you should and shouldn't repair, I'm like, there's crayons on the wall on the back of the door, leave it on, disclose it. I go through with strategic disclosures. We disclose everything, and then we also leave the things in that will establish more credibility with the buyer. So you're disclosing everything, and you're saying, hey, look, I even got these little problems. They're there. Now, does it hurt the value of your home? It could. If you didn't do it ahead of time, people go through your home and are like, oh, this home's really not in as great a shape as I'd hope. But if you disclose it ahead of time, you've established buyer expectations. You probably even exceeded them, and you've therefore used the disclosure process to make the buyers want to buy your home more or offer more for your home. Now, all that works in up or down markets. In a balanced down market, you want to also not only protect yourself by disclosing well, but you want to use that disclosure process as part of the negotiation process. Now, this requires someone with an experience who can tell you when and where it's appropriate to disclose at different levels, because there's things realtors can do, there's things that lawyers can do to change the contract to really protect you. But the more you negotiate away from the price that you really want or that you've determined is fair, but you want to sell, so you're willing to, for the surety, you're willing to sell for a little lower than you want, the more you want to tighten down those outs for the buyers. There's contingency periods, which can be 17 to 21 days, and you want to tie those down to 5 to 7 days if you can. And you use the disclosure process as part of the negotiations. You're like, I'm already giving you the repair list. I'm giving you the disclosures. You've been through the home. You saw them yourselves. We're asking you to make your offers based on that so you can lower the price, which you have. And now, we want to get those people out there, your inspectors and experts out there in the first 2 to 3 days, and they'll get the report back to you, and then you can decide in 7 days if you want to buy this house or not. We don't need to go the full 21 days. So if you're going to negotiate down this $20 or $50 or $100,000, then let's just get this done with. Like, we're willing to sell it to you now, and not go with those other buyers that could be there. But we want to be able to go back to those buyers if you're not going to buy the home. So just make sure that your buyer knows that they're going to give us a yay or nay, and we're going to set the contract up in 5 to 7 days. So that way, without a lawyer, your realtor can still do a good job for you. Now, with a lawyer, we can, you can change the contract. Lawyers are allowed to change the contracts. Realtors just fill in the blanks, and they're really also just supposed to be pretty much scriveners for you. Like, you tell them what goes in there. Now, I know it doesn't go that way, but the point is they're not allowed to change the contract. But like, if I'm going to change the contract, the first thing we're going to do with the listing agreements, we're going to cross out the tail, and we're going to change it to 48-hour or 24-hour written notice by you to the agent to cancel the listing agreement. Then when we get into the negotiations on our RLA, in our PA, the residential purchase contract, there's going to be clauses that we're either going to change, cross out, or add in if the negotiations, if you want to negotiate that way. Like, if you've got other options, but you want to go here because they're going to do it fast, well, then we're going to lock it down so that, I would sometimes use the contract as to be a filter. Like, I would say only buyers who really want to go through this home on this deal will agree to that clause. So if they agree to it, that means they're real. And if they don't, they're more in the fence or they're still looking. I mean, you can make sort of an acid test whether this is a real buyer if you want to do that. And there's the right times and the right markets for that. I think that, well, anyway, that's the beauty of the system right now. I've set it up. So right now, if you're seeing this in the summer of 2022, you can go to my website and I will have $100 price for something I used to charge $350 for, sometimes $400. It was $325. I remember $375 a lot. 10 years ago, in that market, that's what I charged to do consultations with people, and many people paid it. I'm willing to do it $100 for people that don't already have realtors, because one, I think it's vital, and two, something's changed. The part of that process that I hated, and I can't tell you, I still remember being tortured because we were also doing a lot of short sales after that. People would take pictures because they wouldn't have a good scanner or a PDF. People would be taking pictures and the thing would be flipping around. And when you printed it out, it wasn't clear enough to send to the banks, or it wasn't even clear enough for me to read if it was a consult. And it was back and forth, so much time wasted. Sometimes people would show up and they didn't see the last email. And now we have software. We're going to fill out your disclosures. Like, when you sign up with me, the first thing I do is I automatically have it triggered. You'll get copies of the California Association of Realtors. So your clients, so it's no problem. I send you blank ones, and I would suggest you walk through the home and get prepared to fill out those disclosures. Then, after I see that you've signed up, I will go into my software. I'll put your contact information in there, and then you'll have a link. And that link, you can fill it out. It saves 30 to 60 minutes. Then it'll come back to me. I will read it, and then we'll have a consultation, and we'll go over it. And then sometimes you're going to want to change it, and we'll probably have a quick consultation again, and then you'll still have questions. I do all that for $100 for the people that don't have realtors, because one, I like doing it. I don't mind talking to people. You're paying me, it's a pretty good amount of, it's enough. And then secondly, I know that some of you are going to wind up putting me on the file with you. So I refer it out to a realtor that's either in our network, or one that you choose, or one that we help you choose anywhere in California. And then I'll show you that if you'd like, I can oversee the file and get paid lawyer fees at closing, or I can seek it as a realtor and get a referral fee that could be 1%. And then I can share, whatever you pay me, let's say it's $100, I could give you 20 times that fee back, or maybe even more in the right circumstances. So there's lots of reasons to work together, but it starts with something that'll be useful for me and useful to you. Well, we'll talk about pricing, list pricing strategy, what's going on in your markets. We can do all that. I'm a member of the largest MLS in California, so there's a good chance I have the data from your property, from your area. So let's go ahead and tell you where to go, winnerscheck.com. You can go winnerscheck.com disclosures if you remember, or go to winnerscheck.com, and there'll be a link on the first page. My name is John McConnin. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker in California, and I've been doing this for a pretty long time. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. Well, pretty long time sucks, doesn't it? I've been a lawyer since '91 and a real estate broker since 2004.